For your birthday?
What's up? What's up? What's up, Easy on YouTube? I'll give everybody a second to get in here.
What's up, Casper? How you been?
Good, man. How you doing?
Shit, surviving, man. Surviving.
Oh, yeah. What's up, Hunter?
What's up, brother?
How you doing?
Chilling.
Hell yeah.
Day. Relaxing day today.
I've been running like crazy today. I actually had a bunch of shit I had to deal with. I didn't realize I had to do until it was time to do it. So I was running all over town. Yeah, what the main thing with crypto here, we saw some alts like FTM still active. I don't know if it's going to hold or not. I personally didn't take any gains. There were some good gains, but I'll happily eat it if it doesn't. I mean, we see that we saw a bullish structure shift on a lot of alts, but it's always risky whenever you haven't seen it on Bitcoin and Ethereum. And even this big pump, yeah, we broke internal structure, but the swing structure with Bitcoin is this right here. Oops, not that. This right here. Right? Let me turn. What the fuck? Russ is playing in the background. The swing structure is still this right here. So yeah, we had this huge FOMC pump, but you know it didn't even break structure. So any longs were kind of risky today. I don't know why anyone was longing Bitcoin or Ethereum today personally, because if you're unless you're counter trend trading, but we didn't even swing structure. So I was even hesitant to take FTM for that reason, but reason I ended up taking it, probably is going to get stopped. But if you see, we had a shift in structure on FTM, but with crypto, it's always risky to take stuff counter to Bitcoin and Ethereum, because with FTM, we came down in this old demand zone. We saw the internal change of character in the 4-hour, which we know is usually a break of swing structure in the 15-minute. It was a little higher up here. So we saw a break of structure there. So then we had a new swing structure. Price came back down, reacted to this demand, and broke structure again. Whether you use wicks or candle closures, we got both. So price seemed bullish, but it's always risky going against Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we'll see if it holds. It's getting pretty close to the stop. But yeah, with any of these reversals, especially, all this kind of is artificial because everything did pump up, but we got to remember it was literally because the interest rates. So that just gave that market that the dollar kind of died off for a little bit, and anything denominated by it pushed. So yeah, everybody wanted to get really bullish, but it's risky saying that. Even if we would have got a break of structure on Bitcoin, which we didn't, just it's super super weak. So at this point, I mean, I'd be looking for Bitcoin to go much lower, probably down into this sub 20K region would be the next stop. And who knows, we might get a reversal, but at this point, I just see all of these lows as weak lows, So, but that's kind of just my outlook on this pump and just the general sentiment of where we're at. Also looking at the what does it say? FTM is valid. I might have to enter here. Hold on, wait, what did you say? Let's go find it. Is he in? Is Percules in here? Oh, he's not in here. I said, do I have a Discord? Yeah, Brains. It's playbit.gg. You can use my code for a discount. It's just Casper, alt caps. It's also in the bio of my other videos in the stream, or I would.
XRP just hit that level.
Yeah, I took FTM. I told myself, I was like, yeah, I'm going to take it because its structure, it's everything I need for a long. But, Bitcoin and Ethereum aren't there. Because you even had the power of 3 with this. But it's just, that's just kind of part of the game with crypto is, if Bitcoin, because Bitcoin looks like shit here, in my opinion. It looks like we're going for these lows right now. Because you're still just bearish in the 15-minute. Even the FOMC pump didn't change that. So, longs might get violated due to that. That's why, because I looked at FTT earlier. Well, see, same thing. It's just
Yeah, I didn't like this chart. I like the FTM chart over this one.
Yeah, exactly. Feel me? So that's why I took FTM. I was like, FTM looks, because at the end of the day, like that's why, like, if I take an L on this, I won't even care, because it's like that's everything I needed to go long. We came into high time frame demand, switch structure, internal 4-hour and 15-minute swing structure, not once but twice. You have the power of 3 if you go by that. But it's just, that's kind of what you gotta roll with the punches with crypto. Is if Bitcoin and Ethereum, or really just Bitcoin, isn't doing it, your other TA really doesn't matter as much most of the time. Sometimes coins will just fly without it, but usually there's some kind of fundamental reason causing that. But Bitcoin's going to go for these lows here. So general sentiment is still bearish as fuck. I would say next stop is going to be down here at this region right here, at this 19,000 area. And in my opinion, I don't even see that as like the bottom. Like everybody wants to continuously try to call the bottom. I don't call a bottom until, huh?
I said 12,000.
Yeah, like something. And I don't even dude, because a lot of people were calling ICT crazy. I know he was on his YouTube or Twitter or whatever saying like Bitcoin at 3,500 or all this crazy shit. It's like, I mean, I'm not saying that crazy but I mean, like looking at this chart, bro. I mean, I don't know. I'm not calling 3,500 by any means, but I'm not gonna say like everyone says he's an idiot. I mean, I don't think he's an idiot for saying that, but I don't think that it's going there either. I don't like calling, like trying to like be fucking, get my crystal ball out and like call, the bottom of Bitcoin months before it happens. I think that anybody that does that, sure, some people might be right, and you can call certain things like, I don't think something will go higher than this because of all-time highs. But with Bitcoin, it's like, I mean, we just are looking at sell side liquidity down below. The next area that I see of that on the daily is down here at right under 17K. than 16K. But if we go on like the monthly of like Coinbase charts, I mean, you have no support until really. I mean, the only nice zone that I see is down here at 12K. I think that is that where you got that actually.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like the area, the sweet spot. I'm like, if I really think about it, that's a stable price based on the previous pump. It held at 12 before for a little bit, and then like, so that's just like my magic number right there. If it goes below that, I might cry a little, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, for like a
I'm a
long-term
long-term
reversal,
investor,
that's where I'd look
so.
too. Like that's like really like
Yep.
looking at a monthly chart, I don't see anything between us on that. I just don't understand why
Yep.
everyone thought 20K would be the bottom. Like I think it was our next target and we might see a relief bounce from it, but I just like what about this says bottom?
Like,
Unless you're using like retail methods where like people use this, which well we might get a bounce there, but I don't think that's called like that to me that's not going to be the quote bottom, Even if we bounce there and rush to fucking 38K, you know what I mean? I would never.
yep.
So somebody said, oh yeah, my bad, brains. I'm just not seeing that. I'll go ahead and drop this. Here's another link. Use that, and then you can use Casper, just all caps, just like that. You can use that as a code, and it'll give you a discount. Just let me know once you do it. But yeah, it's just everything's pretty rough. So general sentiment is still very bearish. I don't, yeah, we saw our new demand created. Whether you draw it here, that was really our last internal high. It was the last candle before we started to break down each low. You had that new demand creation, but it was just totally, artificial, I guess, if you would say, just because of FOMC. So, just because Bitcoin's pumping doesn't mean that the value of Bitcoin is raising. I mean, theoretically, yes, against the dollar, it's raising, but that doesn't mean that it is gaining steam. It just can mean that what it's denominated by can be losing steam. So, don't. That's why I don't really like give any kind of attention to FOMC day or want to trade it. But to each his own. I'm just still pretty bearish on everything right now except currencies. But yeah, so let's look at ETH. This is gonna be the same story. This is the thing. A lot of alts broke up. Like ETH's the same story though. Just bearish order flow. This is just normal day in a bearish market. Pump back up to supply and dump down. So trying to long Ethereum or Bitcoin today, I think was kind of counterintuitive. But for my trading plan, I don't like trading against the 15-minute. But then there was a lot of alts like FTM. Oh, I got stopped. But I'll go ahead and alert that. Yeah, FTM, like FTT was even, it looked good. I think what was another one? You said XRP is at that level. Yeah, if you wanted to long XRP from just the 15-minute, I mean, it would make sense. But I'm not gonna long it like I mean, even though the risk to reward's good, to me, I'm not gonna really push it today after Bitcoin and Ethereum are clearly going for those lows. I'll keep an eye on it though. I will keep an eye on this. Hold on 1 second. Goddamn, so he's like joined and left like 10 times. But yeah, so you keep an eye on XRP here. This is not really the time of day I like to enter trades, but Bitcoin is going for these lows here. After we, come down into this area, maybe you might start to see signs of a reversal, but I'm personally not really looking for longs until that occurs. So general sentiment is just bearish. That's nothing new. Let's look at ADA. I've gotten break even on this bitch twice now. I'll probably cool on it for now, but ADA is coming for these lows eventually. These weak lows and then also down here. So I want to position myself in short soon. 15-minute clearly still bearish. Actually, yeah. I'd say really here is where you switched bear. So now what I would do, you switch bear a couple times. You got nice closures. And then again, so now you can say that bearish order flow has definitely entered the market again here. So what I'll do is I'll mark up points of interest on the current price swing at a premium. I like this because there's a fair value gap, and also you'd be rating this inducement high. So I'll look for a return up there, but I want to catch these shorts. I'll set an alert. Also, with tomorrow being Friday, I don't really like to enter any kind of swings or anything like that on Fridays, but if I get a good 15-minute setup, I'll take it. If you guys have any coins you want me to do TA on, just let me know, and then we'll run it. But really, there's not too much that I'm watching except ADA for shorts. I still like FTM, but I'm gonna need it to really maintain and switch back to a bullish internal structure in the 15-minute. Which that's the name of the game with crypto, is like you can get all the confirmation you want. Like for instance, we switch bullish and turn on the 15-minute, price return to that level, switch bullish in the 5-minute, price return to that level, switch bullish in the 1-minute. So you had all the time frame switching, but just whenever Bitcoin doesn't switch with it, it's your odds of winning are lower when you're trading against it. We've seen a lot of coins have great success against Bitcoin, like Waves and KNC, Tron, but your odds of that happening are a little lower when they're not trading with the 15-minute trend. Also, another thing I did want to touch on, I forgot, DXY. So DXY did pull back pretty heavily with that FOMC. Now, we just came back into a premium. We're in a very bullish market. So came down into a discount. Forgive me, not a premium. We filled a 4-hour inefficiency. Didn't tap into this 4-hour demand zone just yet. So maybe we might see a little bit more downside here, but do not get it twisted. I think I posted this last night, and we got that new that flip like I talked about. So, and this is another thing that tells me crypto is extremely fucking bearish. Look how much the dollar has been dying compared to what crypto is pumping. I mean, it's so lackluster and so weak. Like, so why that matters is, if the dollar is just falling off a cliff like this, you want to see crypto do the same thing, right? It's move a similar move. But if it's so lackluster that even the asset that it's denominated by is dying and it's not pumping, then it's just, you can just tell it's piss poor week overall. So no signs of reversal just yet. Looks like actually it's going to take these lows now. No, it didn't take this one. So yeah, if we break down here, I'd be looking for reversal somewhere in this 19,000 to 19,400 range. I'm gonna look at some forex because crypto is just not the greatest right now.
Euro USD their internal structure because the dollar was pulling back.
Yeah.
So it had a nice bearish. That's why I shorted GBP USD this morning because I saw the US dollar tanking. So I felt like GBP pairs were going to be up against the dollar.
Yeah. There's a lot of
Another reason why
news worldwide too this
yeah,
week.
the bond day, instead of them dumping, they started pushing up higher. So that's a reason why the dollar tanked today.
Yeah.
Yo, Cas- Yo, Casper, did you catch those USD shorts?
No, I actually didn't. What did they end up playing out? I had
Yeah,
I
bro.
plotted something, but I never took it.
Dude.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
See, I plotted. I should have just kept on to it. I never took the short. I wanted to see just if it would react to this. It's kind of like almost like a little test round, just like see if you react this heavily to it. But it seemed like there was some supply up there. The idea was right though, for sure. So that has to do, I guess, with I should have kept an eye on that, man. It's been
That's
so
fucking
busy.
painful. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice trade. Let's see how it gave us. If it gave what kind of setup it did. So came up in that 4-hour supply. Looks like that refinement was a little, that inside bar it wanted more. So really, I guess this last up candle before the down move would have been the way to go. So let's see how he reacted on the 15-minute once we came up in there. It looks like he got faked out for sure. So if we were playing internal structure or swing structure, you got a breakdown there. Price came back up to your level. Now, regardless if you drew here or here, you got stopped out. That last little raid there, honestly, it's kind of a shame. I can't even say that I would have caught that. You would have caught somewhat of a move. You would have caught here and maybe trimmed out right there. You would have de-risked, but you wouldn't have caught the main swing. I mean, unless you just YOLO'd back in here or you had a really wide stop, like really, really wide. That's a lot of pips. Let's look at the 5 minutes. See what it looks like. Yeah, it's just not much you can do when that happens. You would have made some money though if you would have caught some of it. Look at Euro USD shorts soon, but we just the whole the world economy right now is making for very, very finicky trading conditions because almost everything, the US dollar is the world's reserve currency. So whenever you have these kind of conditions where the dollar is approaching not all the way there yet, but we're going for the highest we've been since this millennia. It kind of makes for a little bit of a finicky environment for anything denominated by it. But as soon as this starts to really pull back, but I mean, I see it higher, to be honest. If I'm looking at this on like a monthly, at this point, I mean, you're looking. If you break above this and don't start to reverse, I'd say 120. But and that's like .com crash levels. But as soon as we start to cool down on this, let's look at some of these USD pairs. We raid this liquidity? Not yet. We're engineering a fucking shitload of sell-side liquidity, or have cleared it on almost all weekly charts against the dollar. So what this tells me, where's another? Here's another one. It looks like we cleared it right there. This isn't as much as some of the other major pairs. There's this same here. We have equal lows, just engineering that sell-side liquidity against the dollar. We're getting close to it. Looks like we may even have another run up, take out some of these swing levels, but soon anything paired by the dollar is going to provide some really nice trading opportunities. I look at gold. Gold started to give the kind of price action I want to see. So didn't quite get the zone I wanted. Seems like this was that last candle played out a little bit better. These longs would have paid. Let's see, because really you didn't. You had that liquidity right here, but you didn't have the power of 3 setup that I kind of wanted to see. Unless, I mean, if you would have still used this and not called it mitigated, even though we tapped into it. Seems like we dug a little deeper there. Go and see on like a 15-minute where the actual level was. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could have marked that. It's the last down candle before we started expanding that hadn't been tapped into at least. No, it was this one actually. Let's see. Yeah, this is what it was. So one of that demand that was in that candle. I guess let's see. Did that break swing structure or is just a flip zone? That's the power of these flip zones. So we see pricing. We had this supply zone. We had that inside bar fractal supply that caused a break of swing structure back here. So that was the original, area of supply had been introduced to the market. We came up to it. We broke through it a little bit, but we didn't close above it. And then we reacted, pulled back, and then blasted through it with that closure. So you could have said this is a flip zone. Also, these equal lows below it got ran right there. That was a pretty nice zone. I think Flo had been talking about gold. I don't know if he caught these or not. I hadn't really looked at it. I know he was posting something about it. Yeah, these are nice longs. Then you you came up. So you came in at first, the higher time frame zone refined down. You broke structure here. I can't even say I would have really taken these because I would have wanted price to return down into a demand zone that sponsored this, which you didn't get. You didn't get any retracement there. You didn't even get a retracement into premium or at a discount, I don't think. No. We had another break of structure. That's interesting. Yeah, gold's doing the thing though. Might make for some nice shorts, especially if DXY starts to move on its bullish path again. So yeah, here with gold, I'd watch us to see a reversal up inside this area right here. Could even watch up here because we did not clear that. Gold price action is kind of odd sometimes. You won't see those levels get satisfied like you will other currency pairs. I like this zone though. This is where we really started to see displacement. I'm gonna set an alert for this. Yeah, can't even speak. GBP JPY came out and stopped me at entry after some nice little gains. I wish I'd have taken a little more. Euro fucking CAD is moving. Did it clear out this or no? It's just forming these equal lows. There's a shitload of liquidity down there.
Yo, so this morning, or I think it was this morning or yesterday, what's it called, the Swiss started buying JPY to help prop up the price of Japanese yen.
Yeah, I saw you post something about the franc today. There's actually a nice power of 3 setup here. Sorry, I was reading something. Yeah, so here, I mean, if you use closes, it looks like we have bullish market structure. Actually, let's see. No, didn't. Oh wait, yeah, you did get a close right there. I guess really this was your old swing range down all the way down to here because we didn't get a closure there. We also did not get a closure below. So we finally closed up there. Let's look at the weekly though. I want to kind of see how we're working. A weekly demand does not get tapped and you're forming a shitload of equal lows below it. Now the weekly is starting to show signs of a the pullback could be beginning because after this break of structure, you know, we expect that weekly pullback. You know, we broke this high right here. Let's see. Looks like we broke it up again right there. If you really want to get technical with it, so you broke the high. All right, so we came back down after the high was broken. We closed bearish, but which is just bringing us down to the demand, whichever was wherever it was in this wick, and then we came back up and broke that demand again. So this is kind of a finicky chart. I'd probably hang off of this one just because these equal lows. Are they actually equal? Let's see. Literally equal to the dot. And if anything, though, I would be looking more for longs because the weekly is due for a pullback. You know, depending on how you draw this last zone. I mean, I wouldn't draw all the way up here, but we didn't really tap into it. Ideally, what we'd like is price to push back down and wick under those lows and grab that demand up. But looks like we have the daily bullish yet. Yeah, daily's bullish too. Daily and 4-hour price market structure is the same. So I mean, realistically, it looks like you're targeting this high right here. I'd watch this level, entertain it if we start to see the 15-minute switch bullish within it. So when you're going on Forex, you always want to start on like the really high time frames. Like it never hurts to start on the monthly. You don't have to necessarily like, you know, frame your trading around the swing structure on the monthly, but the key levels that I recommend you have are your previous monthly low and high. And you see right here, we've already rated the previous monthly high. So you won't need to mark that out. So these are going to be pretty big areas of liquidity. You can just always leave those on your chart just so you have it. You can just view it whenever. So now in weekly, we know we're bullish. Your swing range is going to be right here because, you know, this was your weekly break of structure. So we can go ahead and Mark that out. Mark our weekly low. And then our weekly high. Here we can move these a little in because on a lower time frame, it's going to be way out there. So weekly high. Now I go to the daily because we after we've gotten this weekly break of structure, we expect a pullback. Now, when do we expect it? Well, when we start to see that internal structure shift bearish, which we have not seen yet. We almost saw it right here. You see price came up, kind of pulled back here. This candle was our new internal low because after that we broke the high. So this is your internal structure. We failed to break it. You can see we rallied up and continued up on this bullish move. So until we break down now from really this level right there, can't really, I wouldn't look for the pullback to begin. Theoretically you're still long. You could look for more longs, but I mean we're pretty extended. Also, it looks like you're coming up above some old highs. So we're coming into that area where we might see us reverse, and what we can use as an accessory to that is that we didn't get a closure above these old highs. That's really bearish in my opinion. You came up and cleaned up all that liquidity and didn't close, so we could look at that as maybe a liquidity raid. The internal structure we were just talking about on the daily is going to be your swing structure. So that previous monthly low is going to be a lot of liquidity there. So we're going to want to see a closure under that in order to really say this weekly pullback has begun. Because once the weekly pullback has begun, we're starting to build that higher time frame narrative that, okay, well, if the weekly pullback is beginning, we can start to look to go short. Where are we going to go short to? Well, we can just look at POIs or imbalances in a discount of the weekly range. We have very clear areas. You could say here is really your first weekly liquidity target. Because you're playing counter trend to the weekly if you're shorting. So you want to be a little more conservative with your targeting. And you got this previous monthly low here. It's gonna be a ton of liquidity down there. Really, the thing here is that by the time you get, unless we start to make a new high right here or start to form a little bit tighter internal structure, by the time you really start to break down, which will be this low, you're already very close to the first target. Now we might go lower. Some people target demand. The last area of the weekly demand you have is all the way down here. We really don't have much sell to buy action here for any fractal demand. I'm sure we could find something in the daily, but so those could be. This is how you kind of craft that higher time frame story to go in harmony with your trading plan. So here, daily swing range. We've got our daily low, which is also going to be our previous monthly low, and our daily high, which is just our weekly high as well. So you can still mark them up. It's good to just get in the habit of doing this and be aware of where all these levels are on your chart. So 4 hour, let's see the daily. Has this, because we expect a daily, after we get this daily break of structure, what do we expect a pullback? Now, when do we expect that? When we get that internal structure shift, which we haven't got it here. I mean, this is pretty explosive. Everything against the yen has been blowing up, like USD, JPY, GBP, everything has been, moving really hard against it. So when we look here, there's really your internal low on the daily. But we can check out the 4 hour and see if we can get anything from there. And let's mark up our daily demand just so we'll refine it. But me, I always like these inside bars because what this shows is that price came here and then it ranged on the lower time frames because it was within this candle's high and low, and then we started to expand, and that's when we started to see displacement in the market. That's fair value gap. So 4 hour here, definitely got our internal shift of character in the 4 hour. You got it far up here, up in this region. Now price is definitely on its pullback here. Again, the structure you're getting is, let's see, a little different. And this is really your 4 hour range all the way here because we had break of structure over here. So then that actually, no, I would still mark this lower area as your 4 hour low. That was where your 4 hour break of structure was. So then the highest point between those two lows, or just really the daily swing structure, is going to be This shit's almost like crypto. It's a fucking huge range. The 4 hour you could watch this zone right here. We're in a discount. You've got that flip zone because we came up to this supply over here, reacted to it, and then moved to the upside. Now, remember, we haven't got any signs of a weekly pullback. While we have had that break of structure and we have this bearish closure where we seems like a liquidity raid, the weekly is not telling us anything yet about pulling back. It's the only thing we have is that closure, which that's not enough for me to be convinced. So we can go that 4 hour, and our bias really is still bullish. We're bullish on the weekly, bullish on the daily, bullish on the 4 hour. So, what do? We look for areas too long. Where are we going to look? Our 4 hour POIs that are in a discount. Now, we're not just going to long straight from these areas, but we can set our alerts and come in, once the lower time frames start to shift bullish. And then the lower time frame for the 4 hour would be the 15-minute for me. You could maybe use the 1 hour if you'd like. But this is the next zone I would watch. Man, those shorts would have fucking printed, wouldn't they? Sheesh. How many pips is that? Wow, that's crazy. Anything with the USD is just so fucking finicky right now. Oh, it came. I didn't send an alert for this. Damn. So now, really, with Euro GBP, this is a good example of using the weekly. We have definitely got our internal break of structure. If you look right there, and this supply sent us back down into demand, and then we blasted through it. Now, we didn't get a closure. So some people need closures for internal structure. Personally, I don't. The daily did close. So this looks pretty bullish to me. The weekly pullback is seeming to be in full effect. So we can look for, POIs and a premium. So here on the daily, let me delete this. I know what that's from. Daily swing range looks like it's going to be the same as the 4 hour. Got that break of structure up there. And now we can draw that fib and see where our POIs in zones of AUD, USD. Y'all peep it. And now we have these zones, or this zone, in a discount. Let's see. Liquidity was rated there. I'm not too fond of all these lows here. I think this still needs more time to develop, but something to keep an eye on. What I would like to see is a 15-minute switch bullish. I think it's a good policy to wait and just let the 15-minute be in a bullish swing structure, and then that way you have time to kind of assess things, and we can try to play 15-minute internal change of character in a 4 hour zone. It's more aggressive. Sometimes it works, but in this situation, just because we have those equal lows that are right down here, Forex loves to come down and clean that out. So I'm cool with waiting on this one. I do like the setup though. And you have this huge inefficiency to fill, and also you can just target the week high, and it goes along with the weekly story. Aussie dollar versus USD. So yeah, this one, tons of sell side liquidity. Our weekly low and our swing range, we're bearish in the weekly as well. So the weekly's bearish. Tons of liquidity here. We got relatively equal lows. Looks like we're engineering more sell side liquidity, especially with this FOMC pump. This is kind of like crypto. Yes, it's pumping, but it's just because the dollar's dying or was dying. So here, we could look for The price came into that inefficiency, but we could watch it in here for signs of a reversal. You know, we're on the daily. The daily is, I want to say the daily is bullish here. I think I marked this up the other day. Or no, it's not. It's bearish still. It didn't get a closure. And then to me, that does matter. It needs to be on point. So your let's see. So before, your daily and weekly low are still the same because we haven't cleared this low. You know, if anything, I'd be looking to short this because we have, you know, this liquidity rate to the upside. You know, this is your daily range all the way up. Let's see. Hold on. Actually, I don't know if I would have marked that as my daily high or not. Because if we look, daily, you got to break a structure here, but then you broke structure down there. So then this was your range. Didn't get a closure there, so that doesn't count. Did get a closure there. Close below. Oh no, I know I had it marked. My bad. This would be your daily high as of right now, which is the high we've made on this swing. We've broke down here, so now we've got that pullback up into a. Let's see if it came into a premium or not. Yeah, it did. Came into a premium not once but twice. It gave ideal short entries up here. We cleared out that liquidity. So I think it looks like this pump's kind of engineering more stop losses down here. I would look to go short. Maybe not within this gap. If we reverse, that'd be nice. But ideally, I think refine this zone down here from this 4-hour zone down to this 15-minute zone right here. We really got that fair value gap. This is where the selling really began. We can see violent price action coming from there. So I think did I have an alert? I don't know why. I forget to set alerts. Glad you brought this chart up. But at this point, that's where I would look to short from. That'd be some really nice shorts as well. I think there's going to be a lot of nice shorts on anything paired against the dollar next week. It's all, some of them they've cleared out these liquidity targets, which make them less appealing to me. Like New Zealand versus the US dollar. I swept that low right there. I wish it would have left that. I want to start looking at USDJPY. It's just been fucking insane. Like absolutely insane. Straight all-time highs here. I don't know. I guess you could call that a swing pullback. I don't know liquidity stacking up on the sell side here, but let's see. So your daily break of structure there. Seems like, is this an inside bar? Yeah. So you got your daily change of character here. So we could say this daily pullback is beginning, and you see price how we have this big wick here. So here was our supply zone that pushed us down. Now, we don't know if this wick happened first. We're about to find out. But a lot of times people get tripped up and say that, oh, I'm waiting for a return up here. But you got it really. Say, what if price was here, pushed down, then in the same day went back up into the supply? It's probably what happened. Actually, let's see. No, it looks like it just broke and didn't. So that's, you can always go down a time frame and just make sure, because for instance, if this would have happened after that break, I wouldn't be interested in the zone anymore. But since it didn't, you know, we'll look. Let me draw this, make it a 4-hour zone so we can see it there. So then we can kind of refine and say, okay, well, where do we really start to sell from? And we can mark these levels. Preferably, I'm just going to mark that last candle before the range failure. Also, it's equilibrium of this little range we have here. So I like that zone. But I'm just going to watch this one. I don't really want to short USD JPY yet. If we can get some confirmation, 15-minute switching bearish in that zone, but like we said, the DXY has been pretty crazy. But we got that change of character, so we could begin to look for that daily pullback, and we would look for pullback into a discount. And you can frame your everything like this. You just look for your POIs that are in a discount. If we see price return back up to the zone, 15-minute switches bearish, you could short down here or target the week lows in the 15-minute, however you wanted. But then that's how you kind of build that story of what's going on. But you got to be patient and let it play out. So here, 15 minutes still bearish. I personally wouldn't be aiming to short this and chase it just because of the inefficiencies up above. We've got a huge 4-hour fair value gap here. Another one down here. So I'd just be patient with this one. Look for a return back up to this area. On that note, though, I'm going to hop off here. I appreciate you guys as always, and I will hop on tomorrow, and we'll go over just a weekly recap and kind of reflect on things. But until then, I'll see you guys later. Peace.